on that postcard life, the San Miguel haze, but we're the ones navigating the Philippine maze. I'm Jay in a wire barrel, Heidi by my side. No retirement home, just a wilder ride. From the sprawl of Manila to the edge of the sea, we ain't just expats, we're the truth-telling G's that sold you a dream of a rocking chair and a fan, while we're out here dodging myths with a camera in hand. I'm the logic, the anchor, the calm in the heat. Heidi's the fire making the rhythm complete. If the truth is a crime, then lock up the doors, cause we're coming for the fake, settling the scores. 22 Bonnie and Clyde, now it's George and the Queen, the realest duo that the islands have ever seen. Tell them the truth, babe, just us against the myth, just us against the lies. Underneath the heat of those tropical skies, we're the agitators, the eliminators, the myth breakers, leaving love for the haters. Down to the wire, ride or die. Heidi and George watching the fables die.
We're the Bonnie and Clyde of the YouTube age, writing a brand new chapter on a tropical page. They can call us agitators, call us whatever they want, but the ghost of a perfect life is the only thing we haunt. Can't break this love, I know you can't get enough. I got your back, I got this, you in this life and the next one.
They think we're just another channel, another sunset. Let them think that while we dismantle the fantasy piece by piece.
The cost of living, it's more than pesos. It's the cost of being honest, and we're paying in full. We're the Bonnie and Clyde of the YouTube age, writing a brand new chapter on a tropical page. They can call us agitators, call us whatever they want, but the ghost of the perfect life is the only thing we haunt. Can't break this love, I know you can't get enough. I got your back, I got this, you in this life and the next one.
Yeah, so when the red lights blinking and the mic is live, we the only ones helping the dreamers survive. Not the ones in the brochures, but the ones in the dirt, where the sun meets the struggle and the truth might hurt.
With a Bonnie and Clyde of the YouTube age, writing a brand new chapter on a tropical page. They can call us agitators, call us whatever they want, but the ghost of the perfect life is the only thing we haunt.
With a Bonnie and Clyde of the YouTube age, writing a brand new chapter on a tropical page. They can call us agitators, call us whatever they want, but the ghost of the perfect life is the only thing we haunt. Can't break this love, I know you can't get enough. I got your back, I got this, you in this life and the next one.
I got your back, I got this, you in this life and the next one.
I got your back, I got this, you in his life and the next one.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello to all the antics out there. Good morning. I'm just trying to find my energy this morning, working on my first coffee here. Good morning, Victoria. Thank you so much for all your rallying. Everybody listen to Victoria. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll let you guys know when I'm going live, George is going live, or videos are coming out, or any posts are made or anything. Well, there's several topics I could have covered. I thought about talking about medical. Then there's been this whole budget thing going back around. All the vloggers are starting to talk about their budgets, all copy. And then there's a bunch of them that come through the Facebook forum and they start talking about the cost of the Philippines. And I decided to cover, I guess, what's been irking me the last 2 or 3 months is this new homeless expat crap. And yes, it could happen to anybody. It really can. And I feel for these guys. But me and George are, I'm trying to think of the word. Me and George just don't take people at face value. Just because they say it doesn't mean it happens. Just because that's the way it's rolling and it's on a YouTuber page doesn't mean that it's all there. There's something off on this story. We cover everything. We cover everything on this channel, and it's another homeless expat that has been found by the Carrie vlogger. Mysteriously, I'm pretty sure she's not finding them. They're reaching out and asking for money from her. And This guy is another one of those strange stories, but it's funny. It's the same thing. I need a place to live. Now she's asking for a laptop like the other previous guy. And he's been homeless, but miraculously, he's clean as a whistle. He's got one single backpack, two dogs with collars that he says doesn't belong to him. I guess they could just be homeless dogs. There's a lot to the story, but I just watched the video and he never completes anything. Where's your passport? Oh, well, somebody's got that. Okay, it's but then he kind of cuts it off on the end and he doesn't finish like anything that gives any information. He's very short on his answers the whole time he's doing that cocaine grinding or whatever with his mouth. And I get the boy can be nervous, but he keeps doing that weird thing where it's like he's chewing or something. But to me, it looks like he's tweaking. It looks like he's on something. When she takes him to go get food, he mentions very shortly, half a thing like it was edited out, that he goes to clubs, but he always goes to work the next day. So he admitted to drinking and all this. Does that matter in the end? Well, it sounds like he's contributed to some of his issues of being homeless. He says he's been homeless for 6 months in the Philippines. Robert, and I'm assuming Daniel, being he said that's his dad's real last name, but Robert has been in the Philippines for 15 years, came with his dad. And here, let me read his story here. Well, let me get to that in a minute when I bring everything up. Let me say my hellos to everybody. It's still a partial room right now. Just stick around for those that just joined and everything, and I'll get back into it. And that way it allows those to join. I did start. It's now just 9 o'clock. A quick update. I put a post out yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? God, I went to the doctor's on Monday. So yeah, today's Wednesday. So it was Monday. That video was inside of the office, but I took a photo. How would I put this? It's what me and George thought in the end. They're just going to keep asking for more and more tests because it's not an indefinite until they get to the most expensive test as possible. So they can't ask for one test or another. But see, I thought that was crap they did in the US because of insurance. I'm self-pay, so I don't know why they kind of just didn't go straight for the test, except for it's, a little bit more expensive. But now they want to do the outpatient procedure where they literally cut a hole in my arm and run a wire up to my heart to see exactly what's going on. So one of my valves look ridiculous right now, but they're saying it's not the cause. Now they're saying it's other things. So now they want an entire picture. So I figured those next two tests were needed. So when I get the next test and can afford it, then I will have more information. But he did mention, he put me on 2 more medications and increased the water pills. But, one day at a time. So like George says, we can't put a total thing. It's not going to heal itself. It's a Band-Aid of medicines right now. So, and I appreciate everybody's well wishes. We've had so many of them inpouring, and a lot of them are saying what I would say about Mark Thornton or anybody else that's sick: get home. But now that I'm in that position, I know why a lot of sick expats are still here, because it's not exactly easy to travel when you're having a hard time already here. So that is my problem, is even if I button my lip, didn't take oxygen, and snuck onto the plane, it doesn't mean I'll make the trip. So it's it's just where it is. So now I have to see if it's going to be like a small procedure that'll help me at least get there and get the full heart surgery back to the US. It's one step at a time. So it looks like in the next few months I'll know. So I've got to cut out on more stuff and just move forward and take one day at a time. I have my good days and bad days. So, but thank you for everybody's blessings. So in a nutshell, still heart issues, new medications. It's kind of scary, some of the stuff said, but like George said, we're not going to fully reveal the whole 9 yards right now until this next test comes. And that's an actual surgery where they cut my arm open. So it's it's kind of scary, but I am almost 55 years old with lupus. And, the scary part is, as I was talking to George um, about things that could contribute, but he does feel my lupus is doing something. So, along with some other things from childhood, which is really scary. I was telling George, I said I didn't know eating gray icicles off the back of the car were so bad in the wintertime up north in Ohio, but I guess there's a lot in that. Like there was leaded gas back then. It didn't say unleaded, it said leaded gas. So, and the stuff that was in the rock salt that they put on the streets were toxic. And I'm not even kidding. I ate them off the cars and buildings as a kid. So who knows? So, hey, Geechee is in the house. Sarah, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Geechee, this me and George, watched this yesterday, and it was like it's the same thing. Her stories are the exact same thing. So I don't put the blame on the vlogger. She's just trying to make her money. She likes to be seen on camera. She's been doing it for years. But it wasn't her MO in the beginning to help the homeless. This is something new, but it's something that Filipino vloggers and expats have been doing. But being we're in the Philippines, it seems to be, I see like a mix, but mostly now that she pops up in Facebook constantly, there's a bunch of Filipinos that do the same thing, but it's Filipinos they're usually helping. And a couple stories back, she said the guy was homeless. He wasn't homeless, he had a house. And then she said it was the lady that did it. They were still together. She was out in the province babysitting for her. None of the story was right. She doesn't give enough information for people to check out. But now she's got this new channel, only had it, less than a few weeks. She's already at 5,000 subscribers. Be nice, guys. Calm down. Calm down, kitties. And she's got a Gcash on there. She's got her PayPal on there. And she is asking for stuff. Like literally, there are people pouring money. Like her Facebook is full of all the updates on it. And I'm like, wow, you guys aren't questioning this guy. You guys aren't questioning who the woman is that robbed him or why he's been homeless for 6 months. Or, his answer is, I need a place to live and give me a laptop. I'm going to work. And it's like, but you're out of status for months, maybe even longer. And I don't get it. So it is quite interesting, but asking for a laptop again. And she said that and he said that. And I'm like, that's an awful expensive jump instead of getting him home. And there have been 2 or 3 other expats that she already says, oh, well, I'm taking care of him. We've already put him somewhere. And it's like, whoa, what does that even mean? Yeah, she's holding on to them to control the narrative, the story, and then she puts out additional, nobody knows anything. But to me, it's an incomplete story. I question how many are coming up homeless. And I said, I don't blame her because these guys are reaching out to her. Like George said, he goes, yeah, this isn't right. There's something not right about her side and their side. But it seems that she's got some naive situation going on that these expats are just going to her looking for help. And I get, again, everybody needs help, even if he drank himself and all of this happened. But why is it the same stories each time? And it could be. So it could be what's actually, I don't know. All I know is that the guy also claims, I might as well get into it. They're claiming that his father is that go-to president. That is that travel company that has like the boats and transport and all that. Then it came up that it was 15 years ago he was president. But when I searched, others searched, his name doesn't come up at all that he was. But where did that even play into anything? I don't want to know that the guy's father was president of an expensive company, which kind of makes me feel even less for him. But he's been here for 15 years, supposedly working at a call center. Yeah. Step up, wind up. Boom. So, something's not right. First off, I'm wondering I guess he could have came in on, well, no, he was 20 something years old when he came in. I'm trying to figure out long-term visa, which would allow him to work in a call center as a foreigner. The ones that are working there are kind of under the table. Even if you get your work permit, it's based on doing something different than the Filipinos can do. So issuing a work permit to just work in a call center is kind of odd too. I don't know, guys. I'm There's something not right about this. So that's part of the reason I'm covering it, because I guess I just want to vent and complain and think that there's something strange going on. Um, his name is Rob. According to him, his dad's last name is Daniel. She took a screenshot because he had to defend himself that his father was the president of Go2, but he died 5 years ago. And I'm like, well, why the hell did you guys even mention that? Like George would say, what does that got to do with what's going on? Because your dad died 5 years ago, that's not why you're homeless. Okay, he won't like get to the point. Neither does she. She never does. I get that the Filipinos don't want to be known, but there's always an excuse of why, or I'm going to check up on this. Here's one other thing. I want to let you know the boyfriend that she allegedly had lost the channel to, and she started a new one. Again, just a few weeks, she's at 5,000 already. That channel disappeared several times. And I want to let you know the videos are still running, and it's still got payment information on it. So who's collecting the money for him now? Is it her? If I go and look now, is it her Gcash that's still on there and she's collecting? Is he collecting? Are they both collecting on the same videos and people? And how much money could be going to these people? Because according to her, the incoming pouring amount is doing really well for her. And I'm like, well, yeah, probably. But anyways, so I just want to I thought about that. We both thought about that. It was like, well, wait a minute. If he's still collecting on videos, not just watches, it's a matter of the PayPal, the Gcash, people contributing, mostly Filipinos. Oh, and another one, they want him to go to Rafi Tulfo. Why would you go to Rafi with him? Does everybody say go to Rafi? Can somebody tell me that? Because I get that he helps people, but that's usually not his thing. I know he's helped other expats that got behind and this and that. Maybe it's because of the girlfriend thing. It's probably because some of it's not real and he's got his own background. And what did he do? I never heard any admittance of anything he did, except for he got taken for a ride. So, 38-year-old foreigner from London or the UK has been homeless in Makati. So he's continuing to hang around Makati. He pointed out big buildings and fancy ones that he's been living in, but he's been in Makati. He sleeps on a e-bike. Here's my deal. Does it just stay in the same parking spot and he doesn't charge it? How is he charging it? But it shows that he's been sleeping. Let me pull up the video for you guys. So it shows he's been sleeping on this e-bike, by the way. And that because he's doing that, I love how she writes these because they're always so overdramatic. His body is in constant pain because of him sleeping on the bike. He has no other place to stay. That's an awful clean expat. No dirty nails. His clothes are not wrinkled. For somebody living full time on a bike, he sure looks good. I'm sorry, homeless is homeless. And this again, her people seem to be immaculate that most of the time that she's actually picking up on. He came to the Philippines with his father, who is a president at To Go Company, which isn't a small company, by the way. Why mention that? I have no idea. Rob also had a job here, and he decided to stay and build his life in the Philippines. Yeah, 15 years you've been here, allegedly. During his time here, he met a Filipino. What was that, 12 years ago? Because it seems the people that she picks up on these expats, the last 10 stories we've talked about, it happened years ago. You can't keep blaming the same woman for your problems. Own up, man up, bitch. Every one of these stories, they never do anything wrong. He said that his girlfriend of 1 year, according to him, throughout that year they were together, what year? 12 years ago? Was secretly taking his money from his bank and his Gcash while he slept. One amount of money missing out of me, and I'd be bitch slapping George if I found out he took the rent money. I mean, what's up? I don't get how it could be going on and on and on. But she took his money and it left him broke. That's what he said. Little by little, she drained the account. Yeah, I don't think so. She drained your money to the point you were broke and you had a job. Is she the cause of you losing your job? Not having any savings at all to where she drained you in less than a year? After all of his money was gone, she left. This is the story, same blame on the Filipina. The last homeless guy had been out there for 2 years on multiple substances, and he cheated on both women, took money from them, did them dirty, turned them against each other, and he had been out there for a long time. So the story she was telling didn't match up with two different women. We talked to both those women and like on the phone, and being their stories were almost exact what he was doing, kind of didn't make any sense. uh so now he's hoping for a second chance. He's praying that, such strong words, he's praying that somebody might offer him a place to stay, or I need a small apartment, he kept saying. And she kept mentioning a room, which is more like it. You're sleeping on an e-trike and you're asking for an apartment where there are rooms like dorm rooms you could stay in. And if somebody can get him a laptop, he says he's been offered a job again, but he needs the laptop. Isn't that funny? So he can get back on his feet. And I'm just trying to figure the immigration thing. He's got a passport, but nobody knows where this passport is. His goal is to save enough money to get back to London, but then he turned around and said that he really doesn't want to go back. Who's handling and finding out? Okay, can you guys hear me? The internet's up and down. It totally went out the other day. We lost power. Um, he said his mom's doing it, so he doesn't know what's going on. What do you mean you don't know what's going on? So here's the thing, guys. Stop blaming everybody around you when you run out of money. If you're needing help, there's got to be an end story or a real goddamn thing going on. Because then I always try to put myself in the shoe, because the first thing I know people are saying, expect people to say something to you, Heidi, because you're going through something or you're mentioning it, you're going to hear. And I already accepted that. But something's not right all the way across the board. Not one, not two, not three. Me running out of money in 6 years because I have medical issues that got really bad after I've been here for years and years and years is something different. Not much better that I don't have the money, but I'm still living in my house and haven't lost my shit. And I don't blame George. I like to blame George. I mean, you guys hear what I'm saying? I don't understand the not owning up to things. That's what's driving me nuts. And he's letting his mom do his immigration shit or deal with it. I don't want to be blacklisted, so I don't want to go that route. I need a laptop and a place to live. And at this point, it would be illegal work. I don't even know how he was working to begin with. There are only so many visas that would allow him in a 15-year period to work and live here. So I don't understand how he's got no immigration status. She keeps putting all these men up. There's no immigration status. They're out of status. And he's going to work online. So let's get him a laptop and stow away this immigrant that's illegal right now. You know, there's laws against this. She's literally stowing each homeless foreign expat into homes. And I guess it's called abetting or something. She's helping them. And I'm not saying people don't deserve help, but there are limits. So are these people contacting her? Is she the great hunter that's hunting them down? How much of this story is real, considering it's pretty much like every other story? Who knows? But I know for a while, whoever manager, it was said it was a boyfriend, is collecting on the same videos currently. And she's got all the stories on her Facebook that ask for all this money. She's still collecting on every single one herself through Facebook. That's her biggest push. She's not big on YouTube. She never was. She's got more people through Facebook. So she's pushing all of this to help the guys. So let's say they are reaching out to. She's not, I mean, it's just kind of blind to keep helping these expats. It's full enablement. But this situation of the homeless guy is just not adding up for me. And the moral of the story is this is an odd one. He's been here forever. He admitted it looks like the way he was grinding his teeth just could be nervous on camera, but I doubt it. There's something not right about what's going on. I don't know if he just blew through his money and did the rest of the family leave? Like if his dad passed away and it's just him here. No regular income. I'd be curious to know when that job ended. Nobody's going to ask, not one person in the thing. They question him not having money because of his rich dad, but just because your dad has a good job doesn't mean it's for you. But my question would be is, when did you lose your job, dude? And how long ago did you date this woman? I bet my life on it. These were all a while back. He probably just lost his job at the call center recently, or who knows? But something's not right. It goes on to say that his dad passed 5 years ago, 6 months ago, homeless. During this time, he sleeps on his e-bike and he struggles every day. He doesn't have a job. He's lost almost everything. Goes on about the e-bike again. But again, I just don't see why immigration or the police or something's not saying anything, because it's a gigantic trike. And I don't know, guys. Something is really off on this, and I don't recommend it at all. I mean, look at that. The size of the bike is, and these dogs have collars. He said it's not his dog. There's one with a collar. There's names for both the dogs with collars, but they're not mine. But remember, she just had that expat that was with the dog. They brought excellent numbers. Are the dogs brought in for like hype? I don't know. Not my dogs. Okay. I mean, I guess it, and weird that you would approach somebody and there they are sleeping and stuff. It's propaganda would be my word. These just don't seem like homeless people she keeps. And this is even weirder for me. She poses herself a lot on a page that she claims she's helping people, and then she's always doing her own glow ups. So she took a bunch of photos of herself on his bike laughing and smiling. And once again, a lot of people that contacted us just said how inappropriate the video was. And I would have to say this is weird. The questions are incomplete. She asked the wrong questions, and it's mostly geared towards getting some sort of money. But is this person in the need of actually or deserving of getting money? Would you guys help them? Do you think there's something off? Every last one of her stories, and why so many? I've been here for almost 6 years. I've never seen so many homeless people in the last year in this country as I've seen for the expats now. And are they really even homeless? All the ones that she's had, I wouldn't even think half of them are technically homeless. She doesn't even, like that guy that was Israeli, she didn't even show that he was. She just showed him, they went to some place and sat down on the ground and started talking. How do we know? So are they really homeless? Are people really without the money? Yeah, I believe the expats come here with not enough money. It's easy to do. It's easy if you have a large amount to go through something if there's emergencies. Medical, I can see. And I'm not saying that gets me off the hook, because now that's my biggest problem. That is still my fault, and whatever happens to me is on me for not taking that step and being trapped here. That is on me, and I fully accept it. These guys don't. These guys are like, somebody give me some money. Somebody get me out of here. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like, dude, grow a pair, man. It's crazy. I don't know if it's a new generation or are these men on the spectrum or yeah, I was wondering that. Divergent. Yeah, me and George have been talking about it. There's something, well, I don't know. there's something off. It seems like the ones that are, but here's the other hand. Can't blame her either. Fully, anyways. I think there's something off, and I think she just wants to be a vlogger and earn some sort of money. I get it. It's all about being in the spotlight, it seems, for her. For me, these guys are reaching out to her because she's an open faucet. Maybe she is giving too much. Maybe her heart is truly in it. I think it's a little off on how she's doing it, but the help that's coming in for me is odd. Like how she finds them or they find her, and then the way she does glow ups and shows herself primped in the things. It's too commercialized. The guys never really look homeless. We never get a complete story, and she runs the same stories. Are these guys really getting help? Are they really homeless in the Philippines? That is my biggest question for you guys today. And it's used to be we would see the occasional homeless person, or we would say, hey, this person's homeless during the last couple of years. And then most of them appeared to be what it was. But it's because of some fault of their own and the Filipina and misspending and mismanagement, but they went right home. No, she's trying to solve all their problems. She puts them into homes. She buys them items. She gives them old phones. She gives them money. She takes them to the fast food places. And now it's just like a 3-ring circus, in my opinion. It's just it's kind of out there. This one is incomplete all the way around. Where's your passport? I don't know. Somebody's got it. Did you buy some street party favors and your dealer is holding on to your passport? Maybe. Did you take a loan from somebody? One of those, what George calls a 6-7 or 7, whatever they call those loans from the street people, and they're holding his passport. Did you do something against the E-Trike and they've got your passport right now? He wouldn't say. He just said somebody's got his passport. If he was going to be able to blame the girl like he had already done, he would have said it. So do you even have a passport? So he must have just renewed it because he said something about he had 10 or 15 years on it or something. I don't remember. I only watched the video once. But he's got full time on there. So I believe 10 years is average on different passports from other countries. I don't know. So there's a lesson in this. Honestly, I don't even think you can be prepared all the way around for living in another country. It's really hard. We ran into a half a dozen things since we've been here. Most definitely. And illness is the one that you can plan for, and then you're just going to get broadsided because there was no way to keep insurance on me. So, but I didn't think my heart would go bad. I thought I'd be in a wheelchair and be here 70, 71 years old, and then maybe something the lupus would affect. This last year, I just went downhill. But medical is going to probably be the first that wipes you out here. But to keep hearing it's the girlfriends that do these guys in, I don't get that shit. But George said that he would give his money away. By the way, you guys notice my new oil paint of George there? That's George's new oil painting. He said, don't you dare put that up. And I said, I am. So yeah, he's out and doing family stuff. They are still doing stuff at the house, straightening the house, still clearing the yard, doing things. It's his running day. So it's usually me here on Wednesday. We've been busy last few days. And then we had to have a car repaired. Here's another thing. The car was something we were never going to get. So now we have maintenance on the car. We just had to do the insurance, the tag. We just had a repair. We just had to have a gas line replaced. I forgot what else was wrong. But we had a total mechanical failure with the car. So expenses come up, guys. 100%. It was crazy. We ended up taking a Grab to the appointment. So because we couldn't use the car. Gas was going everywhere. We're lucky we didn't get halfway down the road and poof. So like George said, so we dealt with that all day yesterday, and he was supposed to go over the house the next few days. They're like revamping and doing things in the family compound, like, the house, the yard, all kinds of projects. And it's been as I've been telling you, one day he got blocked in over there. They had cut down so many big trees, they couldn't even get the car because it's parked on the inside. But anyways, he's out and about. But Um, I think I'm hyped on the coffee. Guys, what's wrong with you guys? These guys are wound up tight. Hey, monster. Hi. You gonna come up here? The new kitten is enjoying himself, by the way. He really, really is. He at first was just, here, come here, Toby. Come here. At first, he was shy and hissed at every single person, the cat, everything. And yeah, it's my coffee on the inside. That's the creamer and the coffee, but ugh. Well, it's not creamer. Instead of using the one that has all the chemicals, because I know the Coffee Mate is like one of the worst on earth. About a year ago, I went straight to like the low fat, no sugar added powdered milk or skim milk or whatever it's made from. I forgot the companies. They've got them online. It's one of them. It's not from Thailand. I think it is from Thailand. Malaysian. It's called Malaysian something, and it's a powdered milk they put out. That's what they do here. So I thought it'd be much better than all the extra oils and all that. So really, it is just dried milk. I checked the ingredients. So, boy, boy, your heart is beating. What's up? You having a problem there? What you got to say about this stuff going on? Hi. Say hi. Who's calling you? Oh, who's calling you? Ooh, he is quick. He is really quick. At least he's getting along with Mary. I thought Mary and them were going to chew each other up in the beginning, but I'm all over the place. So, like I said, I don't know which one of you guys actually seen what was going on. Hey, Fallen Center, good morning. When are people going to learn to take some responsibility? See, I told George that a lot of you know my history, those that have been close with us, but at least it's owning up to what's going on, getting past and not repeating a history, learning from it. Oh, no, not these guys. How did you say long term she drained your account and your Gcash and you didn't notice or didn't say anything? No, what it is the relationships go bad, like you see on Rafi, and they're like, I want my money back. Yes, women are just as devious. Oh, I dated this guy and he cheated on me. I want my car back. I get the door swings both ways. But it is 99% men here that are coming here, and most of them it's the same fallen situation. She did me in, the full blame. Oh, and another reason he said he wanted to stay is the people are so nice. So he just can't see going back to the UK. Yeah, it's cheap to live here. I get it. But it looks like he's the only one here. But the guy seems to be taking no responsibility, and no part of that story was in there. I lost my job 3 years ago. Why are they not giving a full story? Because somebody like me is going to be like, bullshit. So they're going to know his story. Okay, they're going to know something's up. AKA, my channel is missing. Somebody took it. No, there's not a somebody. You knew who did it. And then you turn around and apologize to the guy less than 24 hours, but not before your GoFundMe was open for you, which is still running, by the way. You're still always 500,000 subscribers on Facebook, and you're collecting and always have been collecting for everything. And your channel disappears, he's still collecting and asks for Bitcoin. And now you both run in this full circle where now people, hell yeah, I'm gonna knock on that door. Hey, Carrie, I need $1,500 to pay for stuff before I become homeless. Are you going to help me? Because the other ones had places. She knew they had places, but she was still helping them. Okay, you going to help the next person? Should I just give you a partial story? But they seek her out, but is she the magnet on it? Who knows? But none of the guys are taking responsibility. None of them have a complete story or tell you what's going on. Like I said, found out from them two women that the homeless, druggy, alcoholic guy that had been homeless for 2 years and hadn't been with these women for years wasn't a recent story. She just happened to come across him because somebody said, hey, there's a foreigner out there that needs your help. But they made it like it was so recent, but it's not. The laptop guy, after she got him the laptop, he had a place to live. She got the laptop, his rent came up. I don't have enough rent. So when she redid his story again 2 weeks later, whatever it was, then he needed rent money all of a sudden. So she's just going to go around in a circle. But the stories are there pretty much in front of us. Could these guys have done more? Are they even telling the truth? Should they be helped? Shouldn't he be getting the temporary, get his passport back, which, by the way, they can issue another one. If it's being held for a loan, he could totally avoid that, get the money, repatriate back, and go. But he doesn't want to do that. I want a laptop so I can get the job that I'm being offered here. How are you being offered a job with no correct paperwork? You still do not have a working visa. You don't have a work permit. So all of it is shady, in my opinion. So that's what's hard for me is all these stories. And a lot of them are here in the Angel City area that are homeless, but then we find out that they bargle, drinking. Only brought like 50,000 pesos or 1,000 extra. No medical, no plans, nobody with them. I just showed up and went to a hotel room, never left those hotel rooms. And it's like, and then they're like, I'm homeless, or they're currently living homeless, or the ones that are selling donuts out of boxes in Manila. Does it enrage you that I'm even talking about it? Is it something that everybody's like, I just don't know how they do that. It would be hard in your own country, let alone to become a burden in a third world country. These guys, even if it's the smallest pension or you're just foreign or seen as somebody that should be able to pull your shit together, then you come here and you're actually asking a Filipina, whether she looks hoity-toity or not, to actually help you as a vlogger. You know, that she's a vlogger. Well, this guy doesn't appear to be a vlogger. I couldn't find one. I matched his photo. If you drop the guy's photo and then screenshot him, there's like 50 guys that look like him, from Asian to Japanese to Hispanic. Nothing came up on this guy. Nothing came up under his name. Nothing came up under his dad's name. So there's no way to trace what's even going on with this guy. No way to help him because she put him somewhere. Oh, he's already being helped, this, and that. So that's the end of it. Nobody can even go help him if they wanted to, but she's asking for help. Just give me a used laptop or give me a laptop and, you can support me financially, but can't tell you what's really going on with him. I don't know. I call bullshit. So, and it's a good thing I'm in a good mood today. Good thing I'm feeling good. Well, yeah, we'll see. Another cut and run. Not only did he screw up his working years, yeah, you're right on that. He screwed up, good thought, his retirement years. Yeah, by not qualifying for pension or benefits. It's a cut and run. Yeah. I would say that I know some of these YouTubers that have been here for a little bit, at least for a couple years. I think that one that we talk about has been here like 5 years, and he just goes from country to country. But overall, if he's not back in Canada, gives you a hint, or they're not back in America, yeah, they're losing their working years. And if you don't have so many years put together, you won't even get the basic pensions. Or if you was at a regular job, you're not going to get that. And this guy that allegedly worked in a call center, how long was you there, dude? I doubt you're getting a pension. The pensions aren't very high here, even if it is BPO or who knows, but it's going to cause issues for sure. For sure. Any of these guys that are really young, that are 20 years off from collecting anything or need to be putting stuff away. How about that crypto guy or something? That last story, the Rafi Tulfo guy, or the other one, yeah, it was a crypto. I don't know if it was her person or the Rafi that was the crypto guy. I don't even remember now. Good morning, Raymond. Love your song on the opening. Yeah, me and George been writing a lot of things right now. I can't even see that. No, I guess not. I stubbed my finger. Well, you could see it on the backside. See where the bruising is here and here, top side. But I could see where it's bruised at the top side. But my fingers just look yellow anyways. And again, good morning, Geechee. I understand about finding your energy these days. I do not have much. George hasn't either. My concern is really for George right now. He's worried about me. There's other, family dynamic things going on. He's spreading himself thin, and he his, like I said, his blood pressure. Now I know he said his blood pressure was like at 290, but 210 would not be what I can remember. It's not that he isn't telling the truth. It's always been up 220, 230. It was something ridiculous when we first met. And he did drink energy drinks, but this is like 7.5 years ago. Well, he got off of them after we left the United States, but that doesn't mean there wasn't damage done. But he said he's always had it, even before the energy drinks. So now he's on new meds, okay, and he's being treated with one other pill. It has dropped, so I'm really happy. But let's see if it stays like that. But now I'm like, cutting out on this and that, sugar and that. And I said, dude, you got to cut back on your salt. Like if he's out and about, he'll just eat street food or something. And he'll say he doesn't, but he does. It's kind of like me saying I don't eat any carbs or anything salty or sugary. Yeah, of course I do. But it's not like I'm eating it 90% of the time. So I told him, I said, you got to too for your heart. So we got to start looking out for sure. But he has no energy. That's what I was trying to get to. He's so tired and all of his bones hurt. I said, we're getting old, right? So I said, that's just age. It's hitting him hard. So he goes to get up and he's like, oh. And I'm like, dude, you're hurting it. We're not spring chickens. Good morning, Ronald. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, why not? I mean, again, I'm sure some of the others will say hypocrite because that's why we mentioned the E-trike the last time. Years ago, we thought we'd run that thing. We wanted to get the E-trike. We didn't have the funds that we could just take and get it. It was going to be, instead of doing the wheelchair thing, or so I could get out more so we could vlog for you guys, other people donate money for these people to travel and pay for cabs or buy motorcycles so they could vlog for you. Well, why not ask for the e-trike situation? So I think it was during a 2-month period we kept saying, okay, remember we had the board out a couple years ago, again, before the other ones started using the chalkboard or the whiteboard. Remember we used to have it up back here all the time. And so, yeah, I mean, I get it, but we were giving reasons and different things. I'm not saying it's not an e-begging situation, so screw you on that one. For those that are hating, it's if our people want to help, they're going to help, or we wouldn't ask. Sometimes we like setting the goals. That's another thing. If we don't ask and we need something, then I get that. I get it. But these guys, I mean, just to outright say you're staying when you're homeless and you've been homeless and you look that clean, and then you're asking for a laptop and an apartment. Well, what do you need? I need a laptop and a small apartment. That's what I need. Well, shit. I would like the $1,500 for my next test, and I would like new tires on our car. And let's see. I would like, I don't know. There's a lot of things I would like to keep on. I like a bigger place to live in. So why don't we just ask for that because I got a bad heart? Why not? And how about we like some kitty couches and condos? Would you like a new condo? Would you like a kitty condo? Huh? Would you like a kitty condo? Hey, don't give me no attitude, boy. Aw. No. 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 We're going to get you a kitty condo because you need a laptop? Oh my God, he watches TV like big time. Look who's on TV. Look. You can't see yourself? You can't see yourself? Yeah, who's that? Look, who's that? You can't see yourself? It's crazy. He just watches the TV now, and he's only 2 months old. But he seems different than the other cats. Like George says, we don't know if it's because he's a full-bred Siamese, but he's the only one that has the most interest in watching TV now. Hey, Sarah, good morning. One day at a time. Yeah, one day at a time, Geechee, for real. I have to, because it's been a roller coaster with my health issues. I start to get the water under control, and they doubled my water pills, and I'm on 2 different water pills. And then 2 days ago, now my legs are leaking fluid. That's not good. That's major fluid overload right now. And I do not salt food. I haven't been eating fast food. I'm not eating chips, nothing. what little salt is getting to me is in things like 2 pieces of wheat bread. It must have a 1% amount of salt, or there's so many grams of it. And everything, even the diet soda that has natural sugar in it, I found had some form of salt. So even the smallest amount, even if I eat a quarter of what the doctor asked, I'm just maintaining every bit of fluid. But in the end, the surgery that is possibly needed, the doctors recanted initially what based on this last test. And I told you guys it could change. It will require open heart surgery, but we can't say, and I can't see the open heart surgery, guys. My mom passed away. It only buys X amount of years. So I can only take one day at a time until the next test comes in. But to know something like that on a daily basis is kind of rough, that, hey, what's this, what's that? But I can't really say. So now I just live every day to the fullest, talk as much shit as I want, slap the cats and George around. I like to say, screw it, I'm going to eat pizza all day. And I tried that shit for the last few months. I was like, I think, we'll have pizza. As soon as I eat that pizza, I'm sick for 3 days. So now it's a matter of, if I do it, it's no longer just, hey, I gained a few pounds. No, God, it's bad. It's not good. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Raymond. Prayers for you, Heidi. It's good you're getting that done so they can actually see what's going on. Well, we've done what they've wanted twice. Now the next test we have to arrange with either AU or with medical center, but it can range from 60 to 80,000 pesos. So, or about 1 month salary of what we're spending. So I have the oh shit ticket money. I don't want to touch that in any manner. So it may take a little bit to save anything like we're doing now. We've had a few people send in money, and right now we're just setting it aside. It won't take long. It's kind of like when my immigration came up and stuff. We set money aside, and yeah, just an expense on the side. So within a few months we'll get it done. But it's not a matter for me, the test meaning life or death. With the new medicine, we wait the next few months for improvement, and then we wait to see what. So I'm just afraid to get to the point that I'm afraid if I take the next test, they'll say, yes, open heart surgery. And then I just know I just can't see it. And so that's, I guess, what I'm afraid of. But like he said, if I don't have that, there is no fix. There's no cure when you have congestive heart failure or coronary artery disease. You can improve it some. And I won't give you guys my ejection fraction, which did not look good either. So that's like the flow of blood and how it's operating and everything. So it was scary enough. But um, yeah, I mean, like I can cut out on this, no more this, no more that, move a little bit more if I can, and, exercise a little bit more if I can, but it's not going to reverse it. So at this point, it'll either put a pause on it so I'm around for the next couple years, or it's going to say, hey, you need the surgery, for those that have been curious. So, and like George says, we don't want to say a whole lot because it's kind of like, I was like, hey, it's the valves. One of them had an issue, but not enough to say it needed repair. They said it was calcified, which is age. So, so I was right about the mitral, but they said right this moment, it doesn't need it. It's everything else. Your heart is just weak and going bad. So I was like, oh shit. So now we just wait. The next test is only going to tell me that is the surgery for sure. Or, hey, they're not really clogged. They're just falling apart. Who knows? But I still feel positive somehow, some way. Positive I'm going to talk more shit until the day I die. I can see George, stop saying that. I'm still having fun, guys. I really am. So I mess with George. I have fun with the cats. The landlord came by the other day, and he said somebody was there for rent, and me and George says, we're not giving out money today. He said, what? We're not giving out anything today. incredibly suspicious. I'm indifferent to all those stories on all three I've spoke. Yeah, I don't give a shit, and damn, don't give a yeah. All of them. The only ones I haven't watched recently because it just gets irritating for me. It's not her as much. I mean, I'm a little disappointed on both the expat and the way she's doing it, but I see why she's doing it. It's exciting, fun. She's making money. I don't like the side stuff where she's got to go fund me just because her boyfriend did her in or the other guy did, or how it's still running and she's got a channel and how she hasn't closed it yet. There's a lot of shady stuff going around, but that's on her and how she sleeps at night. My issue is that the besides she said there's a woman with cancer that's Filipino and some woman I seen with a cat. I don't know what their stories are, but another one just came up with the expat again. I was like, are you kidding me? Another guy, and they all seem to be in the Makati rich areas. So that means they just overspent, they overdid it, they probably just went to town. But no, the inheritance from his dad's estate, it's been 5 years. He already said that, but at first it wasn't said. And I don't even know why they'd mention it. He died 5 years ago. Like George said, it's totally, a lot of these stories are totally irrelevant. Like when we hear him on Rafi Tulfa, they throw in all this extra stuff. It's more to grab people's attention or feel sorry. But he's a grown ass man. He's 38 years old and he blamed her for taking in what? Wow, come here. Well, hey Gio, what's wrong? Come here. Well, come up here. Well, come here. What? And that's one of those kittens that just turned a year old. By the way, their mother, there's only two of the three kittens. We think someone picked up on the other one at Christmas time because him and him were going in and out of the house. And we're like, okay, well, we couldn't keep the boys. But after his brother disappeared, then we brought him in. But his mother sleeps out there with Willie the dog. It's really cute. They were snuggling this morning, waiting for their food. And so it's kind of cute. What about his mom and family? Yeah, he's letting his mother handle all of his immigration stuff. Every time Carrie asks him something about immigration, well, my mom this and my mom, and I'm like, dude, why aren't you at? She asked him about going there, and if I can remember correctly, I could be off on this. I only watched it once. He said when she asked him about dealing with immigration, he was kind of passive about it, and then he laid it on his mother was dealing with something and that he wasn't sure or something, but he didn't have any straight answer. Nothing was a straight answer during the whole thing. Exactly what he's doing, except for I need a laptop. He was very clear about that, and that he needs a place to be. You know, when she asked him, did he need food, as she always does in the fast food, he didn't really want the food. It's weird because I don't think he's homeless. Go watch that video. I think those who know, they know what story. It's if you just put in homeless British expat, it's going to come up. She tags this shit, does it SEO. She's learned from somebody or paying somebody to do this, but it comes up. And he doesn't want to go get that food. And then it shows him walking, and I literally stopped when they were inside the restaurant. I just couldn't stand it no more. It was just so off. He didn't want to go for food because he probably already ate. It's not like me on steroids and shit and over 50 where I'm like, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like being 9 months pregnant. I'm hungry. No, this is a skinny guy. He didn't even look homeless skinny. He just looked skinny and he just wasn't interested. Why? Is it because you're on something and that's why you're doing the grinding thing that I've seen on all these people that are on the methamphetamines, and something wasn't right about the kid. He wasn't like I am hyped on coffee and hyperactive, or ate too much lead paint or lead paint chips as a kid. But something was off. I kept watching him kind of doing that, and I don't know. Something's not right. Something's not right. That's just my observation. It just is what it is. And supposedly his mom's handling stuff. Why is your mommy at 38 years old doing that? And then Carrie's like, well, look in the camera and tell your mom what you want her to hear or something, or what you want to say to your mom. And it was just off. He did not look in the camera. The whole time, most of the time, him or her are making any contact with the camera. It's like they just the whole time they're looking off this way. They're not directly. I don't get it. I find it odd. Their body behavior is telling a different story. Oh, okay. He got money from his dad and now it's gone. No, supposedly he's had a job at a call center, but when did it end? When did the dudes, when did it end? When did this girlfriend thing happen? How about updating that? For the first few times after we knew her and she was fresh in the game during the beginning of the year, I think it's been about a year we've been seeing her stuff. I used to say something. I'm like, okay, well, that's just me, like me now ranting. She's not going to answer. And no, they're only probably out of like every 10 comments, two people will call her out. And the rest of them are just Filipinos. Oh, take him to Idol Rafi and take him to Tufo and sorry about him and that damn Filipino. And it's always rallying, of course, for the expat. And I am to a small percent because I'm going to call out the bullshit. Something's not right. The fact he asked for a laptop and in a small apartment, just not somewhere to stay, is just wild. It's not wild. I just find all of it odd. He should be able to. He should be able to. But he never once said that was a year ago, too. Yeah, because if you tell people that, like the truth, he wouldn't get any help. He avoids all the main questions and exactly what he's doing. I need a ticket to go home is what he said, but he says he doesn't want to go and I'm staying here to work. So you're giving a Lee swing way to baffle people. So do they call that like an open-end thought, open-end question? The older I get, I'm not very good. Not like George is. I'm like street smart people. George is like book smart, bookworm. I was laughing at George. I said, you're like that Chicken Little, man, on Leghorn, Foghorn, or whatever. So I'll tell you what, boy. He's got those goggles and stuff. I said, that's you, and I'm the rooster. Come here so I could choke you, boy. Oh shit, something like that, right, guys? Here we go. Them are my vitamins. Yeah, I take vitamins every morning. And then there's my B complex. I have another one, D and K, coming, and my potassium is a little low, but I make my own Gatorade out of the potassium. Got to keep a balance and stuff, but there's the kitties. Again, what do you guys think of George's oil painting? We'll be auctioning this off for 70,000 pesos. So dun, 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 dun. We call this Dirty Bathroom Boy. Dun, 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 dun. We'll mail it to you guys. So we'll be auctioning this. How about that? Not quite eBaying if we give you something in value. This is the authentic Georgie boy, Dirty Bathroom Boy. Dun, dun. Like, wait a minute. I think there was, oh, you can't see it. Crap. The original photo, I did send this to one or two of our regulars, and you guys can't see it. We have a blue bathroom thing that hangs up like the sponge, the long one, the loofah. And it was hanging up. It matches his shower cap. So we know what's his name wants it. Here we go. I was going to put this on today. It matches my do, doesn't it? Well, I was going to come in all homeless like today and said, Bings, we're all homeless and asking for money. And some are allowed to and not others. That's because you bitches are hating and shit. It's like, there's Heidi talking about her medical and she caused her own shit. You're damn right. And I'm all going to keep on. Screw you. Screw you. Screw you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if the gander tells you to go fuck yourself, man. What's she talking about? Maybe I should ask for some braces or something, or who knows? This boy. Yes, we can hear you. Okay. Yeah, it went down earlier. Yeah, he looks way too clean. Them were real Crocs on his feet. Those weren't the generic ones. I could be wrong. You all come back. Oh no, them were generic. No, that boy was too clean. The trike was clean. The dogs were in collars. That's not mine. Okay, I know people put collars on and they run all over. People turn their chickens loose. They go right back to their yard. People let their dogs out to go poop. We let Willie outside the gate. He runs to one end of the street and back to the other. So I know people just turn animals loose, but the fact he had two of them on there and gave them names and knew their names, so maybe he wanted to give them names. Something's not right. Well, we all have our issues. I've dated probably a dozen guys in my life, been married a few times, and I get it because I didn't know a whole lot about George for a few years. We didn't do any overnights, no nothing. I think for like 6 months or something. Like he didn't even come over. Like the first time he did, he just happened to pass out because he was tired. I fixed dinner. He came over to my apartment and everything, and he passed out in the chair. I just left him sleeping in the chair. George was always so tired from his work hours, from his company and stuff. So it was like it's just where it was. But I didn't know a whole lot about him. Actually, when we really found out about each other, we had already been married for a little bit, and a couple years in the relationship is after COVID started. We got locked down together, and then we went to Mexico. It just too much going on. Part of the company started faltering because of the pandemic and employees quitting. They were scared, and these were where we were doing services in people's homes and dealing with people face to face. They didn't want it. The employees didn't want COVID. It was really scary, but we still had enough to go on. But the problem was like we had X amount of savings, which we came in with, but then we started spending it. We spent a lot of money 6 months in Mexico. The tickets were astronomical when we got here. All kinds of expenses. Like, shit, we didn't think about buying a bed. And you do, but you don't. We discussed it. But we got to know each other based over fighting over finances. And, you just don't know about people. But vetting somebody, I mean, in the beginning, people put on their best behavior. I did. He did. And then he just got where I felt like he just totally shut down and communications were off. And then it was a lot of time together, and you can only vet somebody so much. And a lot of these guys get here and they finally have a woman that treats them right and does right by them, and then they bamboozle them. Well, I'm not saying maybe it didn't happen, but it's wild. The same stories. Did she really take his money, and how did you continue to let her take it that long? To where it left you broke, and are you blaming her for losing your job? Who knows? It's kind of insane. Hey, good morning. Harry Walsh is in the house. Mm, mm, mm. There's George's painting. We got another one coming. We're going to do a few more of those. Call it Masterpiece Theater. I think that's what we're doing. We're gonna have to auction everything off for medical now. We're gonna auction that cat off, and that cat, and this one. Megan, you got to go. Megan, she was a freebie. Just kidding. Well, they were under the trike. We found them a year ago. Sounds like he never worked in the UK. Like you said, he 15. I think he said he was 23 or something, 22, 23 when he got here. Possibly not. They're just giving women control of their money and documents. I think so. But I would think he would call her out, and he didn't actually say that. He didn't give the full story. Only Carrie's writing that full story out on her page that I read to you guys. Now, this is all alleged, except for what you can see on her page that is quite clear. George, like I said, check that GoFundMe is still up that she's collecting from because she lost her page, but she's always had her page. Facebook's always been her social media, so she didn't lose any money. It's just there's something like really going on. Ooh-wee, what's up with that? What's up with that? I don't know if you guys know, that's at SNL. They did a show, What's Up With That? Me and George a few years ago used to do the skit, What's Up With That? And not Keenan. Is it Keenan? It's Keenan, but I can't remember if that's his last name or first name, but it's hilarious. Sarah. Hey, people building their foundation on quicksand. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I feel they are. Personally, You guys know George. I know George goes into, and he's going to be mad when I say this, nerd stats. And then if I say something, he'll cover what I say because George is more of a figure person. He'll give percentages. Now we're not always spot on, but a lot of things we say, I feel that we're right on. And it's because we got one of those weird memories, like I can't remember half shit, but then some stuff actually sticks. But nobody's ever right about anything. But when it comes down to this, it's like you can smell shit a mile away. And we look at not just part of, like if a vlogger's sitting there on a dark troll channel, just giving one fact about another vlogger, we just don't sit there and say, yeah, that's absolutely got to be it because they're showing one or two documents. No, there's still other things. So you got to kind of, like in this day and age, they said staggeringly, there is so much misinformation, but nobody's really looking for the truth. They don't want to know the truth. That is the truth. They want to live that in their mind. Like, for example, anything put out about me and George, most of it is false. If it's not, contact me and I will tell you. I've told people, but I'm not going to sit there and beat the dead, that little dead horse in front of everybody 24/7. But there's so much misinformation. And then some of it's just goddamn common sense. And it just doesn't make any sense that the same thing's coming up that, and again, I believe the expats are getting her too. In other words, they know that she'll give them something, but she also gets something in return. Her videos she's not the biggest vlogger here. She's put herself in that category. Like there's been some other big vloggers that have reached out to her. Well, yeah, like George said, if we went around doing that all day long and we sent George out and did that, we could build one hell of a channel, but that's not what it's about. George could totally do that, but George ain't going to do that shit. Just ain't. But where was I going on George? It's just what we want to do is we try to get stats and things and information. I mean, I just worked on part of this morning, finding information, but I couldn't find nothing on him or his dad. Then I go through the comments and the actual, let me take a look at the comments. That'll tell us a little bit more. I know it's unreal. Oh, surprise, surprise, she hasn't put something else on. So she shows she got an email from him because a lot of people were questioning. Oh, no, he was the president of 2Go 15 years ago. He passed away 5 years ago. These people can check it online. It's definitely out there. But I did look. I just didn't go by AI. It did not show anywhere reference to his dad. He gives his dad's name. And this is public. Anything I'm talking about is fully public that she's put out, he's talked about. Stephen Charles Daniels. Or Daniel without an S. But then they said that this other guy took over and my dad left and went back to Thailand. So, and then he died 5 years ago. So why did you even mention that your dad was president if he hasn't been president for 15 years? Or how long did they say? Yeah, 15 years ago. Dead for 5. Doesn't make any sense. That just muddies the water. Really muddies the water. Comments I'm just going through. Mostly Filipinos. I don't see this person here shows where their proof is. It doesn't show his dad was ever present, but I'm like George said, he goes, it doesn't matter if it's proven or not. It has nothing to do with the story of why he's homeless or why he let somebody take the last of his money from 2 different accounts while he was sleeping. It just don't make no sense. I don't think he had the money to begin with, and I think his job's been gone. We usually find out the Filipinas are taking care of these expats. Almost every time, both those women of the homeless expat, they took care of him and gave him money and had a place. And the first thing they slam is she didn't do something. Even that one we covered of 45 million recently, I bet there was still a level where she took care of him or did things. I get he kept sending her things, but it seemed more voluntary where he kept buying her things and sending money. I don't know. You just can't say it's the other person all the time. There's always two sides to the story. Here's somebody, this was quite interesting to me. How many of those expats that you help pay you back to support your work? Probably none, but you guys don't realize how much money this vlogger may be making. There's just no way she posts 9 posts a day just on Facebook, and she regurgitates and puts out the videos, the comments. It's bringing in an income just on Facebook. Then he's collecting, she's collecting, which is the ex guy that owns these multi-channels that are under her name. If she's collecting a ton of money, she's the one getting the views, content, and does all that. It's kind of like reality TV is the way I see her channel and these guys. She's just putting out pure reality TV. I guess it's kind of what me and George do. It's a form of entertainment. We've always said that. Don't get your expat shit from us or rely on what we said. We just showing you what's going on here. A lot of people say that. So 15 years ago, somebody said, right? A laptop, ma'am? Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it's sad when foreigners are trying to live in this country homeless. Yeah. There's some that have been here for quite some time. They ain't even trying to go back. He's pitiful. Where's this guy pitiful? There's no pitiful to me. He's got a full-size skadoosh trike that costs twice as much as ours, and he's living on it, and his clothes look immaculate, his shoes, his nails, and there's nothing homeless about this guy. Nothing. We've seen several of her people look like this. I think they just have a place they're living, and they're just looking for these extras. I don't think he's homeless. I think he even mentioned he goes to a friend's house to bathe. Yeah, I call that out. I don't think it's happening. He said that. So why does he look like that? And he's sleeping out there, and he's been out there 6 months. He doesn't look scared. He doesn't look worried. He looks like he was ready to record. I want a free laptop too, by the way. I mean, my phone's about dead. Our computer's now a year old. Our AC is a couple years old. I'd like one too. So, I mean, let's all just get in line. So she does an update later. She goes back and takes a photo of him with his leather Adidas bag, because it is Adidas and it doesn't look fake. Rob is safe. This was 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago, Carrie posts this. Finally, Rob is safe now, and he has a home to stay in. So let me get this right. Less than 48 hours ago, you're posting that this guy is homeless. This is an update. This is even one I don't know about. He's finally safe now and has a place to stay. So she repeats the story that I read. So she copied and pasted 6 months ago being homeless. During that time, he's been sleeping and struggling on his e-trike. He lost his job. Now he is slowly getting back on his feet. The only thing now is he needs a laptop. A laptop would help this guy move forward and fully stand on his feet again. You're never going to see him on that e-bike again. He has a place to stay. So now they've got him a place to stay. So I wouldn't take these homeless expats into the house. You'll, one, never get them out. And it's really dangerous, guys. You wouldn't do that in America. I get the Filipinos are nice. Hopefully they got him a separate place. But now she's reiterated 10 hours ago, like she does everything else, within a 12-hour period, 1-day period, she comes back and announces everything's okay. But hey, I still need money and I still need a laptop. But he doesn't need that e-bike no more. Now, 10 hours ago, under her account, she also put his life is so harsh. His dad's the former president of To Go, and he already stepped down, leaving Rob to face one disaster after another. His savings slowly disappeared. Then he lost his job, and he was scammed by a Filipina. Everything spiraled in his life all at once as a homeless expat in the Philippines for the last 6 months, but stuck here for 6 years. What's up with that? She said he's been here since 15. His dad brought him. So struggle, betrayal, survival. Dun, dun, dun. Let me show you what struggling looks like. Let me get you guys this for a minute. There it is. Look, this is a struggle, guys. And me wearing this, I could use one made out of gold. This is struggling. That's struggle. Look at my paint, oil painting, my masterpiece theater. No, it kind of trips you out all at once. It's thank you, Victoria. Yeah, we had covered that. Hey, Thera, good morning. Morning, second wind. What were you actually thinking on this? I didn't get to you yet. Oh, the painting, yeah, Victoria, definitely. One thing I learned from working in acute rehab for a long time is nobody really plans well for illness. Yeah, strokes. It's the last thing. Me and George talked. The only thing we discuss is men won't. Women make a lot more of the planning. And we never, I just told him, if we leave, George, I was fine. I had some achy body parts. It felt like I had the flu now and then. And it's like I felt strong enough. And I was way lighter back then before I was on full steroids and gained the weight. And part of it is from my heart, the doctor said. I'm just in a full bloated water retention situation on a daily basis. But I was just like, well, the people who live back in the wild, wild west, they just dealt with, and we can handle basic medical. But no, didn't have any idea that the lupus and previous issues as a child, probably up to about 1980, had caused this. And the doctor asked some questions, and it's like, after I got home, I told George, I said, shit, that could be why I had so many dental problems in my mid 20s, and it's just not good. And then my daughter has lupus. I definitely had passed it down along with other medical conditions, but you don't plan for this stuff. We never do. But in America, I get it. Like my sisters and the kids keep saying, well, your medical is here, come back and it's free. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But first, I got to be able to get well enough. If I can't get around my house and I'm having a hard time when I leave the house and then I'm wiped out for 3 days, it's going to be a little hard to take that trip. I understand I can. It's now just a matter of getting well enough to even get to that point. But yeah, we just don't. My insurance is back in the US, and a lot of guys count on that. But what we forget once we get here, that's a long ass trip. It's still 12 to 16 hours in the air at least once. And it could be, I think the shortest trip is what, 28 hours, 29, 30 hours is what I've been seeing if you pay for an expensive one and it's pretty much straight through. So most of them within a good cost is 50 hours. And if I go back, I have to have a business class. There's no way I could not go unless I be able to lay out, not with the lupus, not with the swollen body. There's no way I could sit up for 16 hours. I can't sit up more than 3 or 4 right now. So that's where I'm at. So even if I got a little better, but we don't plan for this. We don't plan for this. I'm going to keep talking about it, but not, maybe I'm already at an irritating level for you guys, but it's better to know that it's not pleasant than to just button it up and say, hey, I got a new car and got a new kid coming and only got cats and everything's going good. And hey, whoopee, it's me. And then, no, not happening, guys. I'm going to be doom and gloom. Uh, Met a girl in her 20s, became a quad, picking up a heavy box. No, it's insane. It's insane. Well, remember, I talked about just, I lose track of time. So how long was it before when I fell? In the last 2 years, I fell outside, slipped on the tile. I could not get up. There was nobody to help me. George wasn't here. And it wasn't because I was so big. It's because I twisted my leg out. It went one way and I dislocated my arm and it was totally out of socket. I couldn't pull myself up because of that. And I was still on the wet stairs. So I had no way and I couldn't turn because my leg was also so messed up. If it wasn't for the neighbors coming over, I was screwed. And then that guy, The Australian guy, God bless him, he died during his surgery. His hip, he slipped and fell. The hip, he got infection and had heart issues, and he passed away before he even got the surgery. Actually, was in surgery. Yeah, he was too sick. But it's crazy that you guys can have the best laid plans, be eating healthy, doing everything, like taking care. Oh, I'm doing good. I'm exercising, blah, blah. And then boom, you're down. One stroke, one whatever. That's it. You could go to fart in a bathroom and have a brain aneurysm, partially blow out something. Who knows? But it's true. I've seen the craziest things like that. Yeah, it just, you never know. Good morning. Good morning, Slick Rick. I ate a pint of Delecha ice cream today. Hey, I hear you. No, I'm kind of sad because I had already in December, I told you guys I started cutting back on stuff. So once or twice at the first of the month, like when you guys seen us doing the board games, I ate at the restaurant, but part of it was a salad. And yeah, I ate the croissant that had the cookie on it. But I was like, okay, that's one out of where we was eating out several times a month. I took all the chips and all the extra stuff that we had because George is more of the snacker when he games than I am. I like my salty stuff, but I like my sugary stuff. I got rid of the calorie coffees that had the fake creamer. I mean, each one of those cups of coffee was like 900 calories, and I was drinking several a day. Gave those up. I've really sacrificed, but I guess I'm going to have to tighten the ship a little bit more. But then I told George, I was like, well, shit. If I'm down to a 5-year situation tops or something, then you start thinking, okay, well, screw it. You're just going to, people are like, well, I'm going to smoke, drink, and whatever. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So I'm ahead of the game. It's the rest that's getting me. So now they want the rest of it cut out. I'm like, damn. But I am not going full vegan and fasting and sitting around starving all day. I just can't do it. It's not, if I've got one good year of continuing partially what I was doing before, then I don't know, guys. I'm going to have that ice cream. But it's not all day. It's moderation. I forgot who was telling me that. Was it, what's her name? Might have been Sarah. But yeah, everything in moderation. It's not like I sit around and eat 4 ice cream bars a day. Every few days I'll have a Magnum or something, but I don't eat anything else sugar. I don't drink sodas. I don't drink heavy fruit juices that have got extra sugar. I don't get any of the street food to Whole. We used to get to Whole all the time. Been a while, but we used to. Believe me, I'm feeling pretty good about what's going on. But you just never know. Hey, Sultan, what is going on? Yeah, I've been pre-making the meals for me and George. Like, it's not here. I pre-make these sausage patties mock, but they're made with oatmeal. Oatmeal, chia seeds. It's got smoke flavor, some mustard, a little bit of molasses. I don't add sugar. There's other items. I put raisins and cranberries in it, but it smashes into a patty and fried with a little bit of olive oil. I make up like a dozen of them, and then they get put in a baggie and they're frozen. They have good flavor and no salt added, so it controls that. But then it's carbs. So it's like, well, you really shouldn't be, but it's a good carb. So then it's like, okay, but moderation. I want to sit around and eat 8 of them a day. So I'd like to have the macaroni and cheese. But I know everybody can feel that at one point or another. So, hey, Joseph. Yeah, on the pension thing, what's going on, Joseph? It's he's going to do himself in. There's a lot of young guys coming here. And a lot of them are doing the vlogging thing that's bringing in, they're claiming they're making $2,000 a month. Well, good for you if you got that much coming in, rolling in, and that's starting to give me a slight headache. It kind of the cat, that is actually for George, by the way. That is a real photo of him in the shower, turned into an oil painting. But the even if they're doing the YouTubing, a lot of people don't realize. Even here's the bad thing: if they follow the rules and law, they're supposed to be paying their taxes here in the Philippines. And when you do, there's not a whole lot coming back. Like George is being paid directly from Google, and the check comes from Singapore, I believe. It's marked with Singapore, the deposit. they keep part of the money every month. And when they send the thing that they do, it says something about residual something and something. They get to keep the money. There's no coming back on that section. There's a whole section of money we missed the last couple of years. They don't give it back. You don't get to do anything with it. So part of the income that they lay on us is one thing. But for those that are working here full time, part time, getting any sort of income that's online, unless you get a digital nomad that you get stuff from Google as a YouTuber and then you're doing it that way and following that rule, yeah, the taxes are paid here. George's is paid here. Foreigners are supposed to pay because they're working. They're working online by uploading, selling t-shirts and Facebooks and all this stuff if they have any incoming money. Hey, stop. Let that boy go. Let go, Megan. Stop. He probably is trying to nurse on her. Son, be a good boy. She's not going to let you nurse on her. Yeah, she ain't even playing around. But anyways, the whole tax thing gets complicated and the pension. So the whole thing is for those that have been here, some have been here 7, 8, 9 years that are vlogging. They are getting money in checks. They talk about how they're getting memberships. The whole deal is they're not supposed to be paying the UK or they're not supposed to be paying America because that's where they live at. They no longer live there. That's the whole thing. And per Filipino law, if they go and talk to them or go talk to an attorney, they just reiterated again that people working online owe them the money for being in the country. And so then they're not going to, that's not much. They don't give you much back here as far as a pension. So it is better that they would have had an online job from their country and then did the digital. And it's just really complicated. They shouldn't show up here at all and do it. If you're here temporary, it's one thing, and then you're leaving. But these guys are living here long term. They're under a certain age, and they're just messing up having anything in the future. Yeah. No, George's blood pressure is high. Yeah, Sultan. It's always been high. George has his own set of issues, and he's got like a lot of achy body parts. I think he at one point we discussed he probably got gout or something, but because it's always in his feet and stuff. But I don't know, it's kind of messed up. And then some people are predisposition, like on his side, stroke and diabetes. I don't have stroke and diabetes, but I do have heart issues, cancer, um, that's, and then dementias and that type of issue. But yeah, we're always set with something. And that's another thing. People don't even think about the mental health side. They probably do and say, hey, I'm okay. I'll have a beer and that'll be it. But you get to a certain age, like me already, memory issues. And with heart issues, I'm having memory issues and had memory issues before. And so it's like, that's a bad thing to be here. These guys sitting in these hotel rooms and small apartments by themselves or with somebody, you start losing it and forgetting things. It's like, you're going to need a full time babysitter. Hey, what's going on? Another down and out expat blaming the world for his bad decisions. Yeah, at least be honest, but that seems like asking a lot. So now he's got a place, didn't look homeless to begin with, blame stuff that's probably old. I put my life on it. It comes out it was a long time ago. He did slip up saying he was drinking. He's a drinker. He already said he'd drink it. But I always went to work the next day. So why did you lose your job? What's up? When did you and this woman break up? And how long's your money been gone? Was it right away you became homeless? I doubt it. He's just probably adding that as a downfall. I wanted money last month to buy a vehicle. I just called the wife and said, send the homeless guy's money. Right, right. Shout out to Philippine Antics. How does your body keep electrolyte balance with so much water? I don't know. It's quite the opposite. Somebody said reduced fluid, and I was like, yeah. So 2,000 is where he put me last month. Now he wants 1,500. That is 3 bottles of water a day, including this coffee. So technically, I'm allowed 2 bottles through the rest of the day. And I still am maintaining and retaining fluid, and I don't have any salt. So this is just indicating to the doctors and my regular doctor that the heart issue is worse than it is. But if I watch every single thing, then it helps, and the medicine's starting to help. The electrolytes are off. So the electrolytes are off always because I drink my water, but I pee 20 times a day, and the water is not really staying. It's weird how there can only be that much, but I guess it doesn't take a whole lot. 200 mils to flood certain parts of the body, which is less than a half a bottle of water. It inside, I guess, it's a lot worse than it is going down into your stomach and absorbing. But I make my own electrolyte drink. So you can use new salt. That is a potassium powder. They sell the potassium. I think it's potassium citrate. I'm not right off the top of my head. It is in a bag form. People make their own electrolyte because if you get Gatorade, it's like 26 grams of sugar for a little bottle. And I just can't see wasting my sugar. I'm going to eat an ice cream bar for Christ's sake. I mean, I get it's got dairy in it or something, but I'm not going to waste my sugar on a drink. So I use the stevia, the natural powder that's not sugar in there. And then I just add that. And then usually would add a pinch of salt. I don't add that salt because it's not a necessity for my body already holds that salt because of my heart. So yeah, very limited on the water now. And this is going to be for the rest of my life unless I have a heart surgery. And the same with the salt intake, no more fast food, no more packaged foods, not supposed to have a lot of carbs, nothing. No dairy, cut back on the red meat. And it's I know that, but it's really hard. No habits except for George. No smoking. I told George the other day, I said, let's stop. We're going to get a bunch of chicken. We're going to get a bunch of street food. Get me a pack of Marble Lights, and I'm going to get me a beer, and I'm just going home. No, you're not. This is so tight. Just like, okay. So, but no, yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, rest in peace. Jesse Jackson passed away. A great man, an activist, a man who stood up. That's the best I could say is he's been a part of a movement for a long time. And for those that know beings, it's the generation I'm in. I was born in the 70s. In Ohio, they put us through segregation. I thought it was the stupidest thing. They bust, the coloreds to one side of town, the whites to the other. They separated us, and I thought it was the stupidest thing. And that went on for years. And then they put us back in the classrooms, and then it confused the kids. And it's like, but like kids, when we're kids, it's just like, it's just another kid. Racism is seen through the adults or the things that you read and all that. But if you just leave innocent kids alone, they don't know what's going on. Not anymore. I mean, now that they watch Instagram, they're seeing all this racist stuff. But all in all, it's our greatest people of all time are passing away. And that's what's scary for me is people that I remember and people that it's kind of sad because it's like the other day I told George, I said, so and so is dead. He's like, yeah, he's been dead. And I'm like, dang. So it's all the people we remember. But I remember my grandparents and my dad and them always saying they were talking about people. And it's like, eh. But now that I'm up at almost 55, it's now happening to me. The great people, the great ones, the warriors of our time or the people of our time are passing away. And it's kind of sad. Um, he passed, he's of old age. What was he, 82, 88 or something? So I'm like, he lived a good life. He accomplished a lot. And that's all you can do is accomplish a lot. I thought about my accomplishments and the things that I've been through and hardships and things that I've learned from and all of that. And I've done it. I've traveled to different areas, the world. I've had kids. I've been married to different types of people. And I say that because I didn't think I'd be married to an Asian and a guy that was Native American Indian. I was married to a guy that was Middle Eastern. And I've traveled. And so I've gotten to get to know a lot of people, a lot of friends. Been through good times, hard times, had money, been in the broke situation, and so I've lived it. So, but he will be missed. So it's now we just got this new dumb generation. I'm scared with the new generation and the ways things are being done. The on the other side of that is who we thought was okay. We're finding out there's a criminality to these people, or there's bad things, or things are made up. So who we thought was decent has not been decent over the years, and that we just ignored the signs because we were just seeing one side, and now it's all being exposed. And we're not talking about because somebody says they're on a list. I'm talking about there literally is proof where these guys are going to jail, or it's just sad. The reality of her childhood is falling apart, whether they pass away like the great Reverend Jesse Jackson, or they just die in spirit because of some of the bad stuff they're being caught doing. And it's hard, it's stressful, and it's sad at the same time. Um, but I guess at the end of the day, um, it is what it is. So, but if it's the bypass surgery, as far as I know, they take the vessel from your leg, yeah, and they graft it. Um, but as I'm to understand, if that is what they need to do, that's still an open heart surgery. They're not going to go through with trolleys. The doctor said it's a total open heart surgery for me. And the problem is with my lupus, I'm 4 times inflamed in my body, having breathing issues and different things. We just don't know if they'll even do it. And I won't be opened up like my mother. My mother passed away from this. And so she had open heart surgery, lived a few years, and then the next surgery, she was 50 years old. So I just can't. It's not because my mom passed away. I'm not afraid of passing away. I can't see healing from it, risking the infection. And I believe at that point, it's like I told you guys, if I found out I had more than just you can see it here, the cancer that I have on my face and skin, that I'm not going to have chemo. I'm not trying to do that part of it. So, but it could be 2, 3 years down the road before this is even done. I don't know, or even if it can be done. But the next test will show exactly whether they're stenting, bypass, need a total replacement, nothing they can do situation. But the next test is what tells it. So but yes, yeah. And then if I do, I have to risk doing it here. And then, geez, that's another level of money. So it's one day at a time. I'm just happy to be here. So just too bad I can't have ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah, I did mention that, Laura, that according to the results, and it's not in stone, it still could be the valves. According to the blood work, it kind of didn't look like that except for my cholesterol. You can't rule that. It was like at 230, which is not ridiculously high. That's like borderline a hair over. He said there were people with 400 in cholesterol. So he's only basing it based on that, and he's basing one of my mitral valves is with issue, but he doesn't feel that's what's causing it. But me not being able to breathe, where I feel like I got lungs in my fluid, I feel like I'm drowning in my fluids. I can't lay flat. This all says valves. But when I looked at it and we talked to him, it being coronary artery disease, you can have some of the similar symptoms, but it's usually not like that. So he's confused too. I'm confused. So George said I shouldn't go too far into details, and it seems like I kind of tipped in that direction. But the bottom line is, without the next test, I told him they're going to have me do this test and then the MRI, but the MRI, he says no. He said this one will show it, and it's not like they profit a bunch off of it. So I'll get the next one, but he already said the bypass, but they won't know how much needs to be done. But that requires open heart surgery. So really, I'm just waiting to find out what really needs to be done. So it's confusing. Or maybe I'll change my mind when I can't breathe even more. I might be like, okay, I'm ready. So who knows? People do get scared in the end and decide to do it, and then other people decide not to. It's scary, but like George said, this would be going home. If I was back in the US, I would still be waiting for the same thing. I would still be waiting to get into an appointment 1 month at a time, and the decision would be the same. With my lupus and the way all the rest of the test results, the lupus indicates I shouldn't have it. Because even if I survive it with my size, my age, um, with me being more than 50 pounds, 100 pounds overweight, it's hard to say if I'll survive the table. There's a lot to think about. It's got us both thinking and stuff. So I'd rather do better on everything else I'm supposed to, because I'm already doing that. Do better and live 5 years without, I'd rather live 5 good years than to risk any of that and to recover. What's going on, Professor? Good morning. I'm missing the vein for the bypass. I may not have one either. They said that the lupus is causing damage in my arteries. It leaves a scratchy surface inside of my arteries because of the way it's going. And with me on steroids, I'll never come off of steroids. That's another thing. They may not even do anything because I'm on steroids. I can't get out of bed without steroids. That's how bad the lupus is. So I'm not going to give those up. Under no circumstance, heart stop or not. So, but with that, I was talking about the scratchiness on the inside of the arteries. The lupus it's like sandpaper. It's picking up on every bit of plaque. Even if a little bit's coming through my system, it's picking up on everything. And so it's not helping. So the lupus is definitely, and the inflammation is showing it. So it's kind of messed up. I cough because it's when I get short of air, it causes the cough. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victoria. Yeah, when I'm done here, I'm going to order a. I'm ordering romaine lettuce and some cucumbers, and I'm going to boil some eggs. And I put regular chicken in a crock pot yesterday so it's not fried, and it's probably got like a half a teaspoon of olive oil, and I just cooked it like that yesterday, and I put smoked flavor to give it a smoked flavor on it. And so I'm just going to put that on the salad: chia seeds, raisins, cranberries, and then I make my own lemon honey vinegar, like a vinaigrette. So yeah, I get the salad. But thank you. Reminds me of the painting of the lady with the scarf. Yeah, it does. Yeah, the one that has the white and blue scarf. Yeah. We're gonna do one of me, but I haven't figured. I have some weird ones, like one day my face was super swollen and I had the face mask on. I'm like this, and I told him, I said we make that into an oil painting, and it's hilarious. But I said I would stand in the shower and put it on, but I'm like, no, I'm not turning to the side, so you get a photo of me facing the same way. It would look weird, but I guess I could make the same pose, but you're able to see him because he's a man. We did do that one time. We lived at the other apartment. There's a video out there somewhere where George came in with the camera and we cropped it or something, but I told him to get out of the bathroom, but it was hilarious. But of course, initially when you're editing, you could see everything. I'm like, oh. George says, you cropped that? I was like, okay. And it's when we were learning to edit. It's kind of funny. Yeah, the painting looks like the girl with the pearl earring. Yeah, Dutch painter. No, it is funny. We have several other we're talking about. Like we have wall of photos. Yeah, I know you guys have seen them on the occasion. We just got two more when George was super young. It's the entire family together. And then one of my son, he went to a wedding. To me, he looks like it's not River Phoenix, it's Joaquin Phoenix when he was growing his beard in, and then he's wearing black suit, black tie, and white is who he looks like to me. But his beard is red. My son, our family has, because of the Irish and different things, my brother and sister have all red hair like that. It's orangish red, like Ed Sheeran, and then my son, like my hair is this color like my eyebrow, but he's just got this bright flaming red beard that's growing in, and it's kind of odd. And then his hair's dark black like mine. Well, I got to run to the veterinarian's office. Yeah, might be cheaper to go there, so make sure you get your rabies shot, man. Good luck on that. Yes, he is very much so there. George is a Chad compared to some people here. George, every time we go somewhere, like the girls at the doctor's office again thought he was Japanese. I thought he was Japanese when we met. And then once I got here and seen the Filipinos, no insult, they reminded me of Mexican people. After living 6 months in Mexico and then living in Florida, there's a lot of Mexican people I grew up with. And so they just had this. Then I got the history and knew they were Hispanic, and it all made sense. But comparatively, George has a different look. So 90 days fast is a must. Yeah, I can't see it. I have been known to fast, and I have. And last year I started losing weight again, but my steroids are now twice a day. And the inflammation, I've tried just about everything. I've only lost a few pounds again recently because of the water pill. And I have the gastric bypass. Every 2 to 3 hours, my stomach empties out so bad that it's just like everything pushes through. And when I do the fast and because really 12 hours is, I've done the 12 hours for a few months at a time. One, even with cutting back on food, it didn't make the difference. You really need a longer fast. And when I stop eating 5 at night and then 5 in the morning, I'm literally like sick. So for me, it's the multi conditions. So I will start again by trying to clear everything out. But I've been doing this my entire life since I was 16 years old. And my system is shot. Not a lot of people can say they've lost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, basically have always been on a diet. Then you go through this screw it moment. And my metabolism is so fried right now. And the lupus, just forget about it. I have 3 or 4 conditions that are just doing me in. I take responsibility for the ice cream and not eating vegan all the time. I was vegan for years, lost the first 30 pounds. I was in the gym every day when I met George. You can see where I was smaller. But after I got on the steroids, the heart condition started, the lupus kicked in. That was it. It was all downhill. And now that I can't move, it's less movement. Everything goes straight to me, and it's been a circle. I'm not going to sit around and not eat for 16 hours a day. That's it. At this point, I know it sounds like a cop out, but I just can't. I just won't. So I can't. I've tried that. That's too much. No drinking, no smoking, no fast food, no eating stuff that are at these parties, no nothing, and then go, total healthy fish and fruits and vegetables. And, it's like, well, if you want to live, well, honestly, I'm not going to live like that. I can't have the salt. I can't have the oily stuff, or I'm just going to be absolutely miserable too. I can do a in between thing. And if I do that and take my medicines and keep going to the doctors, it's just going to have to be enough. I am not going to starve anymore. It's just not going to happen. It is horrible with the gastric bypass. My stomach is still small. I can still only eat X amount, but every 3 or 4 hours, and I just can't see it. So, nope, it's been the recommendation, start going vegan, start doing that, and it's not the answer when you have that many other conditions. And if you haven't been on steroids, and steroids twice a day in heavy doses, and the medicines I'm on, it's an impossible. When I ate nothing on a 14, 16-hour fast and did nothing and was still moving, I did not lose anything. And I'm just not going to fight that. I'm not going to fight that to lose a pound or to say my heart's getting better. There is no reversal of heart disease. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You don't reverse coronary and you don't reverse congestive heart failure based on just going vegan all of a sudden. The doctors clearly stated that there is nothing. I'm going to have replacement surgery, something, or this doesn't stop. So that's the frustrating thing for me is I know people understand but don't at the same time. Like my family wants me home now. It's like, are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? Yeah, as soon as I get well enough that I can make it to the bathroom and back without feeling half dead. It's, and then people are like, well, you go now that you could even get up. And it's like, but I can't. I 6 years ago barely made it here and I was 10 times more healthier. It was still hard on me because of my lupus and sciatic nerve and where I had a car accident. My back is bad, pinched nerves. I have a lot, and then my knees need to be replaced. So it was already hard enough with those basic. And now that I can't breathe and I'm swollen all the time and the new medications make me sick. It's just until I get something right, it can't be done. So, but I understand, Alexander. I've done it. George just isn't making that up either when he says Heidi eats less than me and that. Yeah, I make bad decisions. Maybe I should have had an ice cream bar this week, but I'm not dead either. And it's, I know they'll say one thing leads to another situation. And yeah, it's kind of not where it is. 1 second here. Oh, wait a minute. What is today? George caught a cat. He tried to call. What is that? Who is that? All right, one moment, guys. He's still. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm in a live. Well, you can. Well, no. I mean, they're here. What's up? Well, where's that cat? Whose cat is that? He just got fixed. Huh? All right. Well, let me. Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. Love you. All right. Bye. He said that he's registering the car. So I forgot he had to do that today. When he leaves out, he's got like a list of stuff over there doing stuff with the family, but so today he's physically there doing the car. Let's see. It's not easy to stop eating the poison. Everybody does. And when I think about the people that can cut everything off, it's not many people. Yeah, not many. And I did it for years and like nothing. No substances, not certain medications I needed, down to basic pills, and no alcohol, no cigarettes, no nothing. Did the whole 9 yards. Yeah, but I just, yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's true, even a few days a week is still okay for fasting. My sister in law said that to me. Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Jesse. Thank you, Victoria. Yeah, I don't want to keep it's not that, I'm like I don't want to turn this into being that. That's where I'm talking about. I've done it. I've explained it over and over again, and I definitely appreciate It just seems easier said than done, because those that are doing it, if that's you doing that, you don't have all my other issues. It is not being easy on these steroids. It just isn't. And it's just, yeah, the answer is no. And it is also very costly in the Philippines to stay on a clean diet. So, because every time we go to buy fruits, vegetables, the fish, and stay on a certain diet to get the healthier foods, which I already have them here. I have the chia seeds, I have the flax seeds. I was doing oatmeal, and I know they say they're inexpensive things. It's a lot more expensive to eat that way. And again, it's, I don't know. I don't want to. I had sort of a similar dinner last night. Oh, like the salad and everything. You can't stop eating the poison food. Well, then you must have some worms. Yeah. I had all kinds of tests done before coming here. During one of the tests, the doctor discovered an issue with my valves. Yeah. After a certain age, you already do. Like the one they said was calcifying, which is just age. So, most definitely. Oh, yeah, the girl with the pearl earring. Yeah. The most I did on a water fast was 3 days. 21 days, no way. I know they say if you get past a certain point by the third day, that was it. That was it. Hey, Mimi, what is going on? Say hello to your wife. Hello, it's me again, living off of welfare in the Philippines. Oh, okay, it's you. I remember. And yeah, good luck on that. I ate 11 to 5 every day. It does take some getting used to. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Sorry. That people would like me to say that, hey, I'm dying. I'm absolutely going to do that. And I've done this stuff. It does not work for me in any manner. And it's not because I can't control myself. It's my stomach. I'm literally with acid in my throat. It just gets bad. And we're not talking about because I can't wait a few hours without eating. No, it's not even that. It's just bad. It's just really bad. And I'm just not going to live like that. If that's going to be the bottom line and they say I got a week, then I've got a week to live. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not 30 years old. I'm not 20. I'm not in the middle of a career where my kids are relying on me to feed them. I'm not going to stick around and do this so somebody else can say, I don't know. I'm just not going to do it. To me, if everybody's going to be individual. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Just like people want you to go do chemo and they want you to have this surgery, but I don't. The recovery of having your chest cracked open and healing from that with what I'm dealing with and the medicines I'm on is almost a near impossible. And my size. So you put all of that in there together, it's just not going to happen. And they want me to do that, but I don't want to do it. So if it's my time, it's my time. Well, you said me and George knew Wild Wild West. If it's my time, it is my time. I'll meet halfway to stay around for a few years, but I am not going hardcore to try to stop. I've done that. I've tried that since I've been here, and I'm not going to keep doing it. And our regular people have been around when I talked about I did it. So, hey, what's going on, Lucca? Yeah, I think you're talking to what's his name. Do a worm detox. Yeah, I'm not detoxing on nothing. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I don't order fast food. Haven't for a while. I gave up on 90% of my sugar, and I don't buy the package, whatever. Matter of fact, that thing that George brought, he brought a bag of some sort of little string potatoes or something that hasn't even been opened. There's no way I'm going to eat that because the salt in there would absolutely kill me right now. I will stop the salt. I will cut back on the fluids. This is already hard enough. Getting up every day is hard enough. I have to start with one. I can't, when you pile everything like exercise, cutting out on your food, 16-hour fast. I did all this year, did it last since this year. And I did it last year. And I've done it over the last couple years on and off. It's not easy. It's not. And I'm just easier said than done. And if you are doing it, you're not me. So it's brutal trip coming here unless you're leaving from California. Yeah, they'd be going to Florida, which is, yeah, because I think they stop mid-state in the United States, or you enter. Um, they never just, there's a direct where it goes into Tampa or something, but every flight I keep checking, they're talking about stopping somewhere else first before they go on to Tampa. I forgot what the other states are, but it seems like they stop one place in Asia and then they hit somewhere mid United States and then it goes to Florida. I want to say it was Texas, or I don't know, it was somewhere really off, but I'm like, I thought they came into an international port. We left from California. So, no, it is. I'm aware of that. Yeah. It's more of detoxing the system, not losing weight, because losing weight has been absolutely hard at this point. But I get it's about cleaning the system. But for me, I just can't go through even if I wait a few weeks, I go through the whole thing like everybody does. The headaches, the stomach issues, and just wait, it'll get better. But I did that for a few months and waited, and I'm just not going to do it. I suffer from migraines. Everybody thinks and says it clears all that. It clears the lupus. It doesn't. Not it just everybody is not the same. So it is not an answer. It'll improve. It'll improve things. I'm aware of that. I'm just not going to live like that for the next 6 months that I've got, or 6 years that I've got. I've given up on everything else. Don't forget to tell George to check his pay again. Okay, I will. Thank you, Ronald. No, detox is, yeah, we're all fighting the demons. Most definitely, Alexander. Like I said, I got past that three day water fast, and like I said, I was vegan for a few years, but it doesn't mean you still can't eat sugar. Like I gave up on all the meats. I even tried the opposite of eating nothing. Like I got rid of every single carb last year for a few months, and then I was only eating high protein. But then that made me worse too. I ended up, it was just too much, and I'm supposed to because of the gastric bypass, but it's still, it's a mess. Nobody loses weight on steroids. I was starting to wonder about that shit. And not with the water weight. The doctors are sure of it now. I'm holding somewhere between 80 and 100 pounds. If you guys look at me probably even 2 years ago, it's not because I'm sitting around and eating. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I probably didn't. Twice I've walked around the house showing different things that we had, but I don't think I've actually posted it. But I just, and I wish I could, believe me. We were telling the doctor that we understand and don't, like, we used to eat out constantly in Florida. We were always at Waffle House, and we were always eating. We were buying big chocolate bars, and like me and George never stopped eating. And you could say it's because we were still moving around, but George moved more than I did. We got to Mexico, and we almost every day it was pizza or chicken wings, or we were ordering things because of the pandemic. And I was baking, the cheese on the eggs and tons of toast. We were eating everything in Mexico. And I eat a quarter of that now because my stomach's always messed up. And still, it's crazy. I get that what I'm still eating is bad, so I take responsibility. But I've even cleaned that up. Now I got to clean it up some more because it officially hurts my body. Yes, gaining the weight was hurting me. I'm aware of that, any of the weight that was coming on, but it physically hurts now, like the salt, the oil. So look at what's going on. We should have matched donation night. Everyone who can donate 580 pesos. Thank you so much, Ronald. Well, George is talking about I should go ahead and officially open the GoFundMe's like everybody else does for things, because this isn't, the medical issue is not going to change. There's still going to be a few tests, and then I may not even be well, because if they turn around and say, okay, you can have stents or you could have a pacemaker, and they can do these where it's less invasive but buys me 10 years or something, then that I can consider, as long as it's not being cracked open. But these are funds that, we would have to come up with, because it's going to be up there in cost. So he said, start now. And I'm like, well, I want to wait for the full diagnosis. He said, yeah, but it's going to be an ongoing medical thing. So either people, he goes, it's not going to be our regulars, which you guys do help. He says it's going to be people around the world that are going to, that's going to rally, and, friends, family, one day at a time. I think diet is no longer the issue. She needs to have procedure. Yeah, that's pretty much, his brother's a doctor. We don't feel that it's, I've been sick for a year. I can't lay flat. I can't breathe. I'm tired midday. And like I said, I think it's, and here in the Philippines, I feel that the doctors are kind of passive on it. Like, he knows that it's terminal right now. Like George says, they're just not saying until they get that next test to say, this is what you're needing, that there's something going on. Yeah, we're going to open that. Thank you so much. Love you too. Yeah, it's probably what I need to do. I've got like the paperwork and stuff that they actually have. As a matter of fact, I told him that yes, now it's starting to add up, because he wants me back in less than a month. And that's to come back and get the written stuff for the tests, because I have to come up with like 80,000 pesos for that procedure. And, well, that's the medicines. And that's another thing. He put me on Anestro. That's a few $100s a month alone. So it's a heart medication that's twice a day. I think it's close to 200 pesos a pill. So that's 400. So that's like $9 a day times 3, 270. But anyways, yeah, he's going to want blood work all the time to keep checking potassium and this, and we're probably talking about on a monthly basis, but one stage at a time. I guess it's overwhelming, but then understanding at the same time. So, because my other option is to make it home, but I can't make it home. So, and then I told him that then I get worried, if I make it home, then how does it go from there? It's it's still getting the appointments, getting to the appointments. There's a lot of different things. So currently, I'm not going to give a diagnosis. He said my heart is weak. Initially, it's being called congestive heart failure. So my one valve is going bad, but now they're saying it could be that I need open heart surgery. So the diagnosis is saying congestive heart failure. So my body is inflamed 4 times the normal situation. I'm leaking fluid out of my body. I'm not able to sleep without coughing. I can't breathe. It's terminal. So whatever like George says, we're not going to quite just say one or the other right now. The last thing he wrote was congestive heart failure, but I can't. The next test will show that if the main problem is, so it's always going to be another test, but he doesn't want the MRI because only one valve looks bad, but it's not bad enough for surgery. So now they're going into coronary artery disease. If I'm correct, I believe that's what our Philippine journey is dealing with. So I think we're probably on the same medicine. So he was put in the hospital, and I believe, I could be wrong, that's what he's got, guys. But I think he had stents, correct? Stents are narrowing arteries. According to them, the lupus is narrowing my arteries. And so, but it's hard saying. Not even supposed to say that much because without that test, he's not really saying. Currently, it's written as congestive heart failure. He said, your heart is weak and failing. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of rounds it down. So, and then when the tests are being looked at by another doctor, they're saying, yeah, he's not being truthful. So, but to me, I believe the doctors would be like that here in the Philippines. I think he knows that I'm old, I'm self pay. It's something he'll wait for the next test. So, and I'm to go to the hospital if anything happens. That's pretty much the standby I'm at. So, I don't think they find urgency here. So he knows the symptoms, he knows what I'm going through. And so it's just where it is, one day at a time, guys. Right? Yeah, that's what I probably will do. GoFundMe, they get so much they will buy. Right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to buy me an island, just forget about it. Forget about it. Where are you going? I was going to name the cat Mushu, but we call him Toby because we had a turtle named Toby. And he's like toe beans. Hey, hey, Mushu, Mushu. Psst, psst, psst. Look, I got you some cat food. Hey. Oh, now you're not talking to me? Yeah. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. You want to come say goodbye? You little insensitive kid. You're about as insensitive as your dad. You ignoring me? What? Jeez, he's a trip. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. So, you guys got the gist. Another homeless expat and my health problems. But we kind of got off the subject. Most people won't stick around the end of the live stream, anyways, to get through all that. But yep, another homeless expat, and something's not right about the story. But looks like in the last 10 hours, she's got them all hooked up. Now she just needs that laptop for him. So, but get your finances together, which is rich coming from me. But unfortunately, shit happens. But it's not because George robbed me blind or something, or to say that he did. But I spent all my money on that stupid painting. That's what happened. So it's just where it is. So wasted money in the Philippines on the next Philippine Antics. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys being here. Say goodbye, Mushu. Say bye, Mushu. Okay. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. So then the next live will be Saturday. So, or sooner if something like serious comes up. So, all right, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, Sarah. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Ronald. Thank you so much, Lucca, guys. It's harder to go back through here. Laura was in here. And thank you so much, Alexander. It is great information. I spent years doing this and I get it, but just at some point I just can't do no more. I'm lucky if I can get dressed in the morning. That so I it's just like one day at a time, one cut at a time, one band-aid at a time. It is great information. I know that fasting when I do, I do feel better. But then after a few days, it just seems to, it's so up and down with me these days. It does work. I'm aware that it does. It's just for me at this point. It's like I said, I'd like to have that pizza all the time right now. It just seems the right thing to do if you've only got a year to live, but can't do that either because I can't be in pain and just flood out my bed like full of water in the night and go swimming in it or something. I can't do that either. Hey, Bruce was in the house. Raymond, again, thank you, Sarah. And we talk to you guys later.